Howdy, I'm Helgas, and it's been a while since my last upload due to a lot of things happening in my life. This has slowed down my video production quite a bit, and with me moving to another state in a few weeks, my pacing is not going to change anytime soon. But for the last 3 months, I've started working on a new project to prepare for future videos. Introducing the Video Game Article Database, name most likely not final. But this project is to give a convenient place to find all the articles published on a video game, with no hassles, downloads, ads, or subscriptions. All you need to do is use the search bar to find whatever game you want and have a Google account, since all of this is going to be done on Google Drive. My reasoning for this is just to have it be 100% free for anyone to use, and at the moment I'm focusing on archiving just game magazine articles and website articles. When I eventually finish that, I am going to be pushing on to transcripting video interviews and plopping them there as well. But with only 3 months of work on this project, I've only managed to archive a little over 1,800 articles, which is a really small amount in the grand scheme of things, but I figured that it should be enough for people to actually start using. At least a good starting off place before you have to start doing your own research. And these articles are just the text forms, since all the extra screenshots don't really add too much to an article. Of course, there are some exceptions to this, like betas, canceled games, but if you need those images, all pages are formatted with the magazine's name, month, year, issue, and page number, so that you can easily find that extra information on your own if you really need to. And if you need a website to see those articles and magazines, go to RetroMag. It's a great place to find all these resources. And this brings me to the biggest oddity that the project is going to have for a little bit of time, because the magazines that I've started to archive are in a chaotic mess at the moment, and as time goes on this will be fleshed out because I'll have more archived and more to fill in the gaps. The reason for the randomness comes from me changing my approaches and methods to this project as the months went on. I won't be going into detail of my older methods, since I plan on staying with the current one I have now, because now I'm picking magazines that are related to the future videos that I'm working on. Because while I'm getting information for a future video, I'm just going to grab everything from the magazine that I need because it just makes sense. Because I'm already there looking at the magazine, I might as well just archive the entire thing at that point. So there's going to be a lot of information on certain franchises at times. For example, there's going to be a lot of information on the following franchises: Armored Core, Bioshock, Burnout, and Tekken. But when I'm working on a video and not doing research, so there'll be like no reason for me to archive something, I will then take the approach of doing a magazine from the 80s, doing one from the 90s, from the 2000s, 2010s, and then repeating the process going back to the 80s. With the basic house cleaning out of the way, I want to quickly touch on how I actually archive magazine articles, since they take the longest amount of time to actually do. And this all starts with me going through the magazine to see what I'm going to actually archive. Because depending on the era of magazine, it can lead to a decent amount of random crap that just doesn't get archived. I don't really see a point to archiving them unless people really demand for it. Some of the things that won't get archived are cheat codes, walkthroughs, PC part reviews, gaming peripherals, gaming chair reviews, and the newsletters / the editors answering fan questions. I'm only not including them just so I don't add a whole bunch of unnecessary clutter, because I'm trying to have this all focus on different games, arcade machines, the consoles, and the companies that actually make these games. So after I find all the pages that I need, I put it into a spreadsheet so that I can keep things organized for when I actually have to put them into the database. I then take all the pages I'm keeping and save them into a picture format. Then I take the image and put it into an image editor. I tend to use Kirtra, where I then cut out all the important text that I need. These normally don't include little blurbs describing images or just giving little fun facts that tend to just be repeated into an article. And the only times where those blurbs will actually be archived is if they add more to the article. Because it's not often, but sometimes they do add some really big pieces of information that I don't know why it's not just in the article alone. From there, I arrange them into a neat order that looks like this most of the time. And after that, I save it into a PNG format and I bring it into Google Drive, where I open the image as a Google Doc. Google will then put it into a text format that is in a usable state. I then copy all the text and put it in a notepad because Google's not 100% accurate. So right after that, I'll take the image that I have it to the side, and I'll actually format it to fit the article. I'll fix spelling mistakes and make sure that Google didn't add some random gibberish to the article, which does happen from time to time. After fixing those mistakes, it then goes back into the Google Drive, and then it finds its final spot where it needs to actually place into the database. So as you can see, it's not hard work, but it's just really time consuming. And that's why I have such a small amount of articles archived. And that's if things worked as intended, since there's a few times I've gotten back just gibberish from Google. Or when I first started this project, I used different image to text softwares to see how they actually worked, and I got some pretty weird examples out of it. From the softwares adding brand new words that weren't there, to being able to not read anything at all no matter how hard I clean the image. That also includes using Google too. Its spit out sometimes cannot read the image, which was really annoying, leaving me to have to manually type out a few of the articles, which is just a pain in the ass. But overall, the articles that I have managed to archive are pretty accurate. I can only think of one article that is in some really rough condition in only one section. It's this interview in the Syzygy magazine, issue 1. And no, I'm not going to try again of saying that name, it's a dumb name. But the copy of the article was in such bad condition that neither me or Google could make out much of the sections no matter how hard I tried to clean it. But that one article is labeled in the document itself so that you can understand why things are all fucked if you don't see this video. As for archiving websites, it's really as simple as you probably think it is. It's just copy and paste and then making sure there's not extra text that managed to slip in. The only thing about website articles is that there's a few that I chose not to archive at all because there's a lot, especially if it comes straight from a manufacturer, that are just things like, hey, Chuckle Nuts, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can save 15% off on Madden 13. Because things like that don't really add much to the conversation on any kind of game, then you know it was on sale for PlayStation Plus members. Ooh. But that's enough of me rambling on about this, so if you would like to use the database, there is a link in the description below and in the pinned comment. If you do end up using the database for any kind of video or research or whatever, just let people know that this project exists, that's all I'm asking. But I'll be making monthly upload videos of the new magazines that I uploaded throughout that month, so why not subscribe to see the new stuff? So until next time, have a fantastic day.